All right, how's everybody doing today? Just got Patreon and everything uploaded, and we're just gonna go ahead and roll right into this. I still have my optimizer running lineups right now, so I haven't finalized any lineups, but I kind of already know where it's gonna want to go just based on the um, did I spell Indy Road wrong on Patreon? Because I have it wrong in my thing. I need to make sure I did not. Nope, that's correct. I kind of already know where I'm gonna go, and so since there's only 82 laps in this race, there's not a whole lot of fast laps and laps led points out there, and so I don't have. Before I speak out of turn, I don't have anybody in the 6 value range, like the 6x value, and so my rankings today are going to be really specific. And so if I rank you as an A, you hit 5x. If you're a B, you're either like 4.9, 4.8, somewhere around there. If you're C, you're anything lower than that. And so hopefully that gives you an idea of how I'm viewing certain drivers. So we'll just go ahead and get right in here and start looking at stuff. I really like today for mass entry players because I think you have a real big advantage, because I think there's only like 17, 18, if you want to push it to like 19 guys in a player pool, but really there's like 12. There's like 13, 14 guys that you should have in your player pool, realistically. Not hoping for anything wild to happen or anything crazy to happen. So yeah, that's about where we're at. Okay, scroll down here. We're at Bubba. Everybody else are Fs here. So let's just count these guys here, and then you can count the A's and B's, and you can see what I'm talking about. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24 guys in the initial pool, and then guys that are actually like worth playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 10 guys that are actually like should be locked in a player pool, and then you add like 4 or others. That's why I'm saying the entry fees or the player pool is so small today that I would, if you're not multi-entering, I would be hesitant to play in 150 max, and I would honestly be hesitant to play in a 20 max, because I think everybody else is seeing this. Certainly, if you're looking at optimizers and stuff, this thing still hasn't finished. Let me make sure I get this stupid optimizer working. I think it froze because I want to see I want to see what the initial percentage is between everyone real quick. So we need to. Sorry about that. Sorry about this. Stupid thing froze, and we need this thing to work. Let's go, buddy. And I pasted in the wrong place. That's fantastic. I gotta restart this whole thing. I just crashed the optimizer. Okay, that's there. Let me put projections in. Sorry, I was hoping this wouldn't freeze on stream, but it did. Let me put those there. Okay, that's nothing. That's nothing. Okay, okay. And I'll read chat in a second. God dang it. I got everything working. Nothing's working, man. My keyboard keeps dying. The optimizer keeps freezing over here. My hair's all over the place. Okay, we get that. 52. Oops. I was looking at the comments from yesterday, and some buffoon was like, "What are you doing? You've been here for like 5 minutes and you haven't said anything." And I'm like, "Bro, actually, I don't even need these guys." He's like, "Why aren't you talking? You're not saying anything. You've been here for 10 minutes." And I'm like, "Bro, who cares? I'm doing a live show here. Let me just take these guys out of this pool." So I'm taking basically the last 4 starters out. So the field is from it's from what the heck is going on here? From James Davidson up to Byron. So let's run this thing again. Let's see if it will actually work without crashing. Let me look at chat now. Yeah, there's massive easy plays today. Kyle Busch is a good lock. Same thing with Keselowski. I'm not too concerned about his recent performances. Obviously, last week he had the brake issue at Watkins Glen, and when you look at his other finishes this year, like, sure, they're not stellar. 13th at Road America. We've already talked about how that race played out. 15th at Sonoma, 19th at Coda in Lorraine. Daytona Road Course finished 5th. More likely, like an 8th place driver at the road course, and then Watkins Glen obviously with the brake issues there. But he's 8,200. Like, he's stupid cheap. And good old Keselowski starting 31st. Like, it seems to me like you just put Keselowski, Alex Bowman, and Kyle Busch into every single line. Like, that's really what it's seeming like right now. I don't think we really need to, really look different unless you're making, more than, a few lines. Single entry, I think that's going to probably be the most popular core. And that's why I want to see what this optimizer puts out, because I think there's an argument to be made that if this race ends up being spread out between lap leaders, which I think there's a good chance that it is going to be spread out, mainly because there's so many people staying out for stage points. And so we know for a fact that Reddick is going to stay out to get stage points. We know for a fact that Austin Dillon is going to stay out to get stage points. I don't believe in the crap between Hamlin and Kyle Larson. I don't believe they're going to stay out. They're racing for the win. But a lot of people around the cut line are going to be staying out. And so that guarantees at least 4 guys staying out to get stage points, probably passing whoever the leader is, with 3 to go or 2 to go in a stage whenever they pit. And so the people who I think are going to pit looking for the win are people like Byron, Briscoe, Elliott, Larson, Truex. I don't know what Allmendinger and Cindric are going to do. Right now I can't figure out what strategy would be better for them. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think we're going to see multiple guys lead in this race, and maybe at max, at least in the first 2 stages, we might have a guy lead like at max like 15 laps, 17 laps, somewhere around there. And if that's what we're looking at, in the vast majority of laps that are going to be late into stage 3, a consistent amount, there's an argument to be made that I think you only need 1 lap leader in this race. And if it's spread out enough, I think place differential plays can outscore some of the lap leaders. Let's see. So what is it looking at right now? I'll let this thing calculate some more. Because right now, if we're looking at, lap leaders, I did give Chase Briscoe some laps led. I gave Elliott laps led. Larson, Truex, Allmendinger, Cindric, Hamlin, Christopher Bell, I gave them all like fast laps and laps led spread out, but the main guys that it's wanting to go to, if I were to go to a lap leader, it's looking like Briscoe, Elliott, and AJ Allmendinger right now, and I think that's more based on the price. I have Elliott winning the race. I have him leading the most out of anyone, and so I think that's why it's going towards Elliott. But I don't think you necessarily need Elliott in your lineup. I think he might actually be a hindrance because I'm thinking I'm going to want to leave salary on the table here. I got some lineups right now crunching in the 48,000s and the low 49s. I don't think you necessarily need to spend all your money today. Yeah, like, I mean, everybody's going to have the exact same core. And so if you're building 150 lines and you use that core, you use, yeah, here, we'll just, oh shit, I didn't put chalk on the fucking heat map. Damn it, I knew I forgot something. I got to fix that. But I'm going to do that right now as we kind of talk. Like, it's these guys right here that are, actually, what am I doing? I have a chalk thing here. I knew I forgot something on the heat map on Patreon. Which is basically this anyway, but I do need to update that for good old Patreon folks. But say if you're building 20 lines today, I wouldn't fault you for putting these 3 into 60% of those lines and then focusing on your other 3 plays. You can cover a lot of ground in that, and if that chalk hits, you know, Keselowski, Bowman, Kyle Busch, and these guys don't even need to do that much to hit. But if the chalk hits there, then all you're doing is playing with 3 other positions in your line. That's why I'm hesitant to play. I gotta update this real quick. That's why I'm hesitant to play a lot of the big GPPs today, because I think if you have 150 lines, even if you have 20 lines, I think you have a real you got a real shot of hitting the optimal today. And a lot of people do. Let me just update this, because I totally forgot to do that. I feel very dumb that I forgot one thing. But it's early, and I was trying to rush and get this done. I got a feeling Kurt's going to be pretty chalky as well. Let me just go ahead and get this bad boy fixed. Yeah, these road courses are usually already chalk fest because place differential doesn't play. I gotta take this off the screen real quick. Actually, I didn't even leave that on the screen. Whoops. I gotta take it back off. Let me download this. But yeah, place differential is going to be huge today. And I'll show the screen on here because I didn't realize that I didn't have it on. Let me just update this. Take that off. Let me upload this. Updated. All right, let me make sure that's updated. Just make sure that's looking good. Okay, I got that. I got chat. Okay. All right, cool. All right, we're all good now. Let me go back to the screen. I'll put the rankings up on here. So these are my rankings. Like I said, I thought I had this on the screen when I was filling them out. But I'm being really aggressive on the ranking today, and so come on, Kay. I mean, you could play. I don't hate that either, but that's you know, that's not what I said. But hopefully you believe Kay and then just piss away money today. So I'm being really aggressive on the rankings today. So if you hit a 5X, you're an A. If you're a 4.9, a 4.8, you're a B. Anything under that, that's how it falls down in the rankings. That's why I feel sad that I didn't do this. And so when you look at the pool, I think we counted guys that are in this list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, So we got 24 guys in the first thing. If you just count A's and B's, it's 10. At least I hope so. I think it's 10 or 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so it's 10 guys. And so that's why, like, the chalk core today, which I think is going to be popular, which I think has a good chance of hitting, is Kyle Busch, Bowman, and Keselowski. Go ahead and throw Jones in there if you want, because I have him hitting value. Same thing with Austin Dillon. Same thing can be said about Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin. This is a situation where I think the chalk does hit today, and it's a very chalky type of lineup, which is very similar to Road America. In a sense, there was 5 lock-in plays. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but it was Elliott, Kyle Busch, Stenhouse. Can't remember the other one. And then the GPP was decided by playing Christopher Bell over Kurt Busch over Eric Almirola, and I think it's going to be very similar today, to where it's pretty much a chalk 5 lineup, and then that last driver in is going to determine what lineup ends up being optimal. And so if you're playing, like, if you're picking your guys, and I hate to say this because I hate giving out lines, but it's not really giving out lines if everybody kind of sees it here. Let me bring this up so I don't mess it up. Real shitty day to play DFS. FanDuel is going to be fucking wild, because I think there's just going to be duplicates across the board. Maybe you could consider, and you're only considering fading the chalk, hoping that, you know, one of these guys has a fatal accident and doesn't finish the race. I'm guessing probably Keselowski would be your first guy to do that. The first guy to do that too. Like, it seems like the optimal lineup is going to be Keselowski, Bowman, Kyle Busch, Hamlin, Austin Dillon. That's your 5 guys that I think are optimal. That's just how it is. Now, it'll change if we get lap leaders up here, but I think those 5 guys are is your DraftKings core, and then you just pick your last dude in there. Yeah, it's a pretty shitty race, which is why I was able to go live so quickly, just because you know, I was just able to finish everything pretty fast. Yeah, it's a pretty craptastic, man. That'll get different if, say, if one of those 5 guys fails, and I think Kurt Busch would fall into that next. Then Eric Jones, and then Eric Almirola, and then Harvick. I think it's those guys that I just said, those 5 guys that I just said there. Play whoever you want as a 6th guy, and then if one of those guys fails, the people I just mentioned there for guys who would probably step into that lineup. So when we're looking at guys to try and go out of our way to get, I think Christopher Bell makes a lot of sense, because if you're paying up for Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin, it's hard to get to Christopher Bell with your line, especially if you're going Bowman and Keselowski. And so I think Christopher Bell is a place to try and get different. And I say get different. He's still going to be popular as well. But I think he's worth a shot, like trying to build a lineup specifically to get Bell in. Cindric would probably be in the same thing because he's 94. And so that price range is difficult to get to. Not difficult to get to, but you'll get to it on like your 4th or 5th type of build when you have money left in the 9K range to get up there. Man, this really sucks, dude. This really sucks. Even Kurt Busch in the 9K range, because that seems like just a difficult place to get to today. I want to say Cindric, but there's so many people that have to fail for Cindric to get in the optimal. And so I guess let's get off of trying to build the optimal right here, because that's going to just boil down to how many lineups you have and who your last guy is. Lineups should be pretty tight today. Like, you can play Cindric. I think you can finish top 8% of lineups with Cindric. Really, same thing with any of these guys. Cindric, Blaney, Bell, Eric Almirola, Kurt Busch. Like, all these guys are going to score well in lineups. I don't think you're going to take down a GPP, but you're going to finish probably top 3% of that. If you play a one-off of those guys. Right now, I can't figure out who the last dude in is going to be, or who the last guy in the lineup is going to be optimal. Just because there's so much chalk, it's just if you have your player pool and you blanket everyone, I think that's how you end up on it. It's not necessarily like, oh, this guy's looking good, play him. It's just, man, there's so much chalk here today. That's just how it is. Let's see. Oh, Sergeant Sugar, thank you so much for the super chat. I do appreciate it. It's been a long time. You still got my number. If you ever want to talk or ever want to do a show, let me know. Wig, thank you for the 10. I do appreciate that as well. Man, you guys are so nice. We got 91 people watching. Thank you as well. Yeah, and I'm still not used to getting super chats, so I apologize for taking so long to see your shirt. I was on the other page. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting me and watching this, and especially during this time when football is back. Obviously, I don't cover football, and the audience window or the audience size kind of drops. I do appreciate you guys staying here. The putts are complete fade. Like, there's no reason to play any of the guys in the back, and I just think this is a spitting image of Road America, when a lot of the chalk came through, and you either fade the chalk, hoping, like I said, somebody has an issue, there's a fatal wreck, and one of those guys gets taken out, or the chalk goes through and we kind of all split, and yeah, that's where it comes from. Probably I'm thinking my first fade would be Keselowski, but he just has to do so little to score well. After that, it would probably be Kyle Busch, only because there's some guys in the 9K range that could probably score the exact same or score 1 or 2 points higher than Kyle Busch, and that would force him out of the optimal. But this is a very, very chalk race, man. I don't like this at all. I like it for single entries, but I do not like it for I don't like it for big GBPs at all. So let's say if we're doing, high dollar single entry or 3 max, I don't think you have to get all that crazy either, because you're playing in a smaller field. It's not like you have to fade all 3 of these guys or all 4 of these guys. Probably just one to get different. I think that's where it boils down to. I don't have a lean one way or the other on certain guys. Dave, thank you for the super chat as well. Man, you guys are supporting me. I do appreciate that. That's very kind. You guys don't have to do that. Yeah, like, it's crazy, man. That's like that's a Whataburger meal, man. Like, you guys don't have to do that. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I can't say anything other than that than thank you. 94 you guys watching. I do appreciate it. I know this is kind of early. We got a 2-hour window between here and when lock happens. No, thank you, Dave, for watching, because I appreciate everybody watching it. It's hard to do this, certainly now, because there's a lot more people getting involved and making DFS lineups or making DFS videos and stuff. But I think starting now would be extremely difficult, because you kind of already have your pre-established guys, and when you're doing a live show with 18 people watching, then it's hard to continue. So thank you guys for being here. Obviously, Jordan can't join us today because he's doing his stuff on his side. I let him know I was going live and talked to him, and he was like, yeah, I'm doing stuff for the site. I won't be able to join, but thanks for letting me know. I think this is a lap turner. ASC, I really do think this is a lap turner. Going back to what I said about laps led, I think the only time we can really solidify laps led to people is stage 3, because we're going to have guys staying out during the 2 stages, purposely trying to get stage points, probably taking over the lead. And then you have to worry about guys like Chase Elliott. Like, let's say Chase Elliott gets the lead in stage 1, which I think he will at some point. So he leads, he pits with 2 to go before the end of the stage. You know, you got Dylan, Reddick, those guys staying out. So those guys steal 1 or 2 laps led. Under caution, Elliott still isn't getting laps led because he's, you know, running 6th or 7th right here. And if he gets beat on pit road for whatever reason, he still has to kind of drive through the field, or if people are trying to play this race backwards in terms of fuel strategy, and so they don't pit in stage 1 at all, and they pit in the middle of stage 2. That's why I think laps led are going to be kind of spread out, and I think that's why I think the optimal will most likely have somebody who leads laps if they can get up over probably 22 laps. Right now I have probably the most on a guy, I think it's 18, I said. Yeah, I'm giving Chase Elliott 12 laps led and 16 fast laps, and I think that's pretty reasonable for how I think this race might shake out. And if he leads more, he's still I think Elliott's my highest projected. Yeah, Elliott's still my highest projected guy. But I don't think we see Elliott, even if he kills the race, I don't think we see him score over like 65 points. And so when it's there, there's an argument to be made that the optimal will have a lap leader, and then lineups that still finish with inside the top 1% or 2% or 3% of GPPs might not have a true lap leader. It's just a lot of place differential plays with a guy who led like maybe 5 or 7 laps, and, you know, fast laps spread out between the guys there. And so yeah, no, if anybody goes to the rear, it doesn't change anything. Like if it was Elliott here, I kind of already I kind of just already talked about Elliott, what I'm giving him. If for whatever reason he doesn't get those laps led, well then, you know, it would kind of hurt his upside. But I think it would only change Elliott. I'm not playing Byron. I'm not playing Briscoe. I'm not playing Larson. Oh, well, thank you, Brad. Man, you guys are killing with the super chats today. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I mean, I'm telling you, man, the love I've gotten this month alone. I don't know if it's because, I don't know. I don't understand, but thank you guys for supporting me and supporting me doing this. But going back to that, I think it would only change if you project a guy to lead a ton of laps. If you don't project him to lead laps, I'm not going to change anything. Yeah. Oh yeah, speaking of kind of giving projections out, let's see what percentage the optimizers want to use with everybody in the pool over here. I get a few more minutes, and I'll put the percentages on the screen that the optimizers want to use guys in. See if there's anything weird. Stenhouse is coming up quite a bit. It's $5,900. It's probably when it's needing the money. Like I said, I still got a lot of lineups in the 48,000s and low 49s. Last man GPP, $6,900 or less. I already have Dylan. Let's see, probably Jones, because I got Jones projected for 38 points. Yeah, I'm giving Jones 38 points today. If I don't give him that, let's see, because I think Jones can work his way into the top 20, like around 19th, 18th, 17th. Let me see. If I take if I'm not aggressive on Jones. And the only reason I'm doing that with Jones is because when you look at his finishing positions, he's not necessarily, the fastest car, but him starting 28th. And obviously, as I've kind of already said the last couple of weeks, take all the finishing positions with a grain of salt. But Jones is a guy who necessarily hasn't, gained that much from late race chaos. He's kind of just running around the 20th to 19th to 18th, 17th place range. And so, Road America, 19th, 11th at Sonoma, 16th at Daytona Road Course, 27th at the Watkins Glen this past weekend. That's the only one that concerns me. But based on the other finishing positions, I can give him, like an 18th, 19th there. As I said, if I don't take Jones, it would probably be Stenhouse, because I don't Newman, and you already have Austin Dillon on that line, and so Newman, I'm pretty sure he has CTE or something, because he hasn't been the same since that wreck. Hate to say it, but that's just how it is. Stenhouse, I think, can outscore Bubba, because Bubba's been atrocious at the road courses this year. Just absolutely atrocious. His best finish came at the wreck-ridden Sonoma race this year. Whereas Stenhouse, I would put Stenhouse around 17th. I'd give Bubba around like 23rd. And so those would probably be the guys I would look at under the 6K for your last guy. And so those are kind of my arguments to be made there. Jason Holland, thank you. Thank you very much for that super draft as well, or super chat. Thank you guys a lot. That means a lot to me. It means a lot that you guys are willing to give me your hard-earned money, and you aren't even taking like the Patreon stuff or anything like that. Like, just donating it here is that means a lot, man. Let's see. I'm thinking Harvick does well today because he crapped the bed so early in Xfinity Series race, and so that was a fucking mess. No, thank you, Jason. Thank you for everything. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate this. Yeah, and that's not me bullshitting. Like, I'm not here being like, oh, thank you for the money. Like, I'm legit like shocked that people are giving me, donations, or that people even support me on Patreon. And so, like, thank you guys for that. Going back to the Harvick thing, like yesterday, I'll rewatch the Xfinity Series race later this week. I went back to see the wrecks. Like, I saw Sam Mayer's wreck, I saw Chris Wright's wreck, but as soon as the jump happened on lap 1, I just turned it off, because what is this, dude? Yet again, NASCAR shit in the bed. So NASCAR shit the bed there, because IndyCar just runs a full race, has no issues. NASCAR goes out lap 1, destroys at least 8 cars. Qualifying today, we have a safety vehicle on the track as LaJoie is still at speed, taking a lap time, or taking a time lap. Like, how many times this year has NASCAR just looked completely inept? Keeps happening left and right. So Harvick, take a gander at Harvick. I wish he would have ran more yesterday. Poor guy. So when you look at this year's races, Road America 27th, Sonoma 22nd. He ran poorly in those races to begin with. He didn't do stellar there. Was running decent at Coda in the rain till he got murdered. And 6th at the Daytona Road Course. He has had some bad luck this year in the road courses. My main concern is, and it's reflected in his price, I don't think this is a track that necessarily suits his style. Sorry, I forgot Watkins Glen. He finished 8th at Watkins Glen. Harvick is a guy who performs very well on the faster sweeping corners like Watkins Glen, which is why I think Watkins Glen is probably the best road course we go to. We typically see Harvick struggle and even Martinsville to an extent, but tracks that are a much slower entry to the corner, much tighter corners, like a lot of 90 degree corners, like we're seeing today in the Indy road course. That's my main reluctance to play Harvick. I think Harvick is going to be popular as well. That's why I have him as a C. I currently have Harvick projected for 37 points. At the same time, I got Eric Jones for 38. And let's say I bump back Eric Jones to 35. Well, Eric Jones is $6,700. Kevin Harvick's $8,000. Um, I don't know how high up that I don't know how high up the field Harvick is going to get today. Because right now I'm giving Harvick a 16th place finish, and that's 37 points. That's not even a 4.7 value. That's 4.625. And so I probably won't go with Harvick today. They took out that hump. Right? And I was watching practice yesterday, and I was like, wow, that grass looks really nice. Like that's on par with how nice Atlanta's grass looks. And I was even like, I wonder if they're racing through the golf course. And I was like, I guess they are, but and then I don't know if it's true or not, but Penske put that there to keep guys off the grass because he wants to look like Augusta. I mean, what are you doing, man? Don't build a golf course on a racetrack. And then, like all this runoff room, like I understand it's for safe. Like Watkins Glen, for example, ton of just paved off area. That's the racetrack now. Like the point of runoff is to protect the asphalt. It's not necessarily to give drivers more room, because if you ever look at I think it was Dirt Drift UK, there's a dirt track in the UK that does some really good videos. It might be boring for some of you, but he has a drift track, and he talks about the labor that goes into maintaining that track. And whenever guys step off the asphalt into the grass or into the dirt and then come back onto the track, that messes up the very edge of the asphalt. And then once you get more and more, it starts cracking and deteriorating. And so curbs at any track is not necessarily for runoff room for drivers, but it's to protect the racing surface. And I like racetracks like this that have just a very small amount of curbing. Same with Road America, and then just grass, because I don't like drivers, just abusing the runoff room, because that's just the racetrack now. So let's see. I kind of already talked about Harvick. Elliott. So kind of already talked about Elliott as well. Got 114 of you guys watching. Thank you for supporting me and watching this. I got Elliott for my highest projected driver today. I got him winning the race, got him leading laps, getting some fast laps. My main concern is if this race ends up being spread out between a few drivers, not necessarily guys who are just fast, but Elliott losing the lead and not really getting it back until stage 3. That's my main concern. And he's expensive. So that's another thing. So I got Elliott for 57.2 at the moment. I got some guys. I got a guy projected for 54.35. I got a guy projected for 52. I got another guy projected for 52. I got someone projected for 48. I got somebody projected for 48. I got another guy projected for 48.3, 47.65, 46.85. And so I think Elliott really needs to kill this race to be optimal. I think an Elliott lineup is going to score extremely well. I don't know if he's going to be optimal if he can't lead over half this race and probably get at least 25% of the fast laps. Because projections are going to be, or DK points are going to be pretty much within a small window today, between maybe 66 points and 48 points between a lot of guys. Actually move that down. So at the high end, I probably see maybe 65, 64 points, and I see a lot of guys crossing 44 points. And so you got a very tight window of possible ranges where I think it's probably even closer to where maybe the highest point scored today is 59, and then we have 8 drivers that score over 48 points. And so if Elliott's in that and he doesn't walk away with those DraftKings points in that range, and he's not the highest, I think he'll be forced out of the optimal, if that makes sense. Hopefully that kind of makes sense there. Yeah, I got to go through, give some love again. So thank you, Sergeant Sugar. I do appreciate it. Wig. Dave, thank you. Brad and Jason, thank you guys for the super chats and supporting me. I do appreciate that. Let's see if, man, it's still not showing the percentages here. Well, without showing the percentages, because we haven't I'll put on sponsored DNF. I'll do it under I'll do under this. It'll be red, but this is where the optimizers wanted to go. Actually, I'm gonna change this because I know somebody's gonna join and be like, "What the hell are you talking about, DNF?" We'll just put percentage. That's what the optimizers wanted to do. Medium, where are we at? I'm on to Benedetto. So this is kind of where the optimizer is going. I'm gonna change that again. It's still calculating. So right now it's these are the main guys that it's throwing into lineups. And on the low range, we're at 30%. And so anything over, like low's 30%, and then high is darn close to probably 80% right now. But this is where the optimizers wanted to go. And so there's, like I said, the argument's there for Elliott. Elliott is not in my highest projected line at the moment, but he's in the fourth highest. And I got 4 lineups tied for sixth highest right now. 2 with Elliott, 2 without. The salaries that it's showing are 49.7, 49.8, 49, 48.9, 48.7, 49.1, 49.4, 49.5, 48.7, 49. There's a 46,000 in there too. Not sure how likely that lineup is, but if you want to get different, that's not bad at all. This is almost more like a plate race, really, because there's chalk in the back that, unless they run into issues, should work. I mean, we've kind of already had this conversation all morning, really. Let's see. I would probably Priest or LaJoy. Let's take a gander. I got him projected for the same amount of points. Between Priest and LaJoy, and then Stenhouse and Priest. I didn't even try to do that. I got Stenhouse, I got LaJoy, and I have Priest projected for the exact same amount of points. Didn't even try and do that. And yeah, I don't love Truex here. I'm just not gonna get to him. Yeah, that's just me, man. Mass entry guys, kind of summing up because we've been live for about 45 minutes. There's a player pool of like 24 guys. And when you really get to who's playable, it's like 10 dudes, maybe 12, depending on who you're throwing in there. And so if you're making 150 lines with a 12-person player pool, you're going to cover a lot of ground if the chalk hits, if those guys hit. And a 20 max, same thing there. And so I don't think I'm going to play the 150 maxes today. God damn, dude. So, man, when you look at that 15, you get 23,000 lineups in there. A lot of good mass entry guys in there that are going to be using that, 10, 12 player pool. A lot of duplicated lineups in that 15 today. I don't think that 100,000 is taken down between 1 or even 2 or even 3. I think that 100,000 might be split between maybe 12 guys. And after that, you're getting real iffy on if you even make your money back if you mass enter that $15 one. And so I don't think I like that. FanDuel is the exact same situation. Just thank God it's a little smaller tournament. But with FanDuel, say you have a player pool of 12 guys and you only have 5 spots, you're going to cover a lot of lineups very, very quickly. I really hate to say it, but I think the $7 contest on FanDuel might be a better contest than the 15 on DraftKings today. Just due to the sheer volume of players in it. It's amazing difference in top predicted score. Almost a 10-point difference. Yeah, it's yeah, that's how it is. Like if the chalk hits, then it's there. If whatever reason one of the chalk guys fails or 2 of them fails, then it elevates lineups. That's what I'm seeing as well. Lineups that where the chalk doesn't go through, it's like 8 to 9 to 10 to 11 to 12 points higher, just because there's so little points in this race. It's not really coming from laps led, it's coming from place differential. And so those 9, 10, 11 laps are 9, 10, 11 positions of place differential, either plus or minus in lineups. And so it's a very, very tight slate today on every site. Yeah, I think that's where we're at, man. Very, very tight. Well, I think I'm going to probably call it within the next couple minutes here. I'll give you guys 2 hours to build your lines and listen to. I know probably Chris Pinnell is going to go live. I know Osmo has their live before lock today, and so I kind of like to not step on anybody's toes. That's why I kind of like to do this a bit early, because I really don't want to compete for viewership or anything like that. I'm just not that type of person there. Like, I'm not going to go head to head with other guys and be like, whoever gets more views. I don't care about that. Let's see. Did this thing finally go? No, it's still there. Yeah. I think a way to get different and to possibly still have a chance of cashing or taking down GPP if the chalk scores well, which, man, that's going to be difficult if the chalk hits, is playing Cindric and Allmendinger together. Because AJ Allmendinger at 8,800 is too cheap. Cindric at 94 is too cheap based on his starting position. If both those gentlemen can get up and race for the lead and finish in the top 5, you play Cindric and AJ with the chalk. That might be a way to still play the chalk and still be different. But I mean, I think that's a stretch. I still think that's a stretch. Maybe it's Eric Almirola again. Maybe he stays out late on old tires and holds off some guys like he did at Road America. Pricing is so soft, man. Even before qualifying, I knew it was going to be a very, very soft plate. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there, because everybody kind of already knows who to play. It's more so however this race happens to play out, if that chalk works or not. If it stays green, nothing happens. We're going to see a lot of duplicated lineups at the top of leaderboards today. The only way that's not going to happen is if the chalk runs into issues. And if you're not playing the chalk, it's not because you're trying to, you really believe in other guys. It's because of game theory of hoping, those guys run into issues and your lineups work out. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Everybody who donated on the super chat thank you guys very much. If you want to support me when I'm not live, or if you do well today and you think I helped you out, or this week or this year, I got PayPal in the description. I got Patreon in the description. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Best of luck day, and we'll see you guys next week.